I arrived in July 4, 1973 in Hawaii. Because of the advent of the martial law in the Philippines, I decided to migrate to the United States because of the trouble that we expect from the martial law regime of the then President Marcos in 1986. I started being employed as a janitor of this construction company back in 1973 when I just arrived. And then I worked through the ladder of success, being promoted as estimator after 1 year in my company. Then I was then promoted as chief estimator, then executive vice president of the company where I'm working. Unfortunately, because of the recession in 1979, the company was sold. So I'm out with job already. Ang nangyari, yung chief licensing board examiner, Mr. Charles Cook, have given me a call to see the possibility of putting up a company, and my answer to him, I don't have any money. I got only $1,000 in my bank. And I showed him the bank account, and the following day, he made appointment for me to have meat breakfast, and that's the beginning of Group Builders, because he gave me $30,000 back in 1979. The main objective of Group Builders is to help our fellow Filipino carpenters and workers, because there's a lot of Filipinos at that time. They are good carpenters, but they have no chance to get into the field because you got to be union. Then when I was appointed as trustee of the Carpenters Union, the Labor Union, the Masons Union, and the Painters Union, Tapers Union, then I decided to put a lot of Filipinos because they are very qualified to work in those fields. Ang style of management ko kasi, I put my shoes in the shoes of the working people so that I want to feel how they feel. Kasi kung hindi mo gagawin yon, hindi mo alam ang feeling ng trabador mo. So linagay ko in their feeling like I'm a working man. Kaya alam ko ang feeling ng mga tao. Kasi you can imagine, the company started with $1,000 of my capital. Now the company is the 17th biggest construction company in the state of Hawaii, running with 700 employees before. Because of the recession now, we are down to 300 workers in the field. But it's still very expensive because they're making $65 an hour. So you can imagine the payroll every week. Because without people, you can do anything. And I still believe up to this time. So that's why whatever my people said, I always tell them, you are my idol and you are my boss. I have to serve you guys in order for us to go up at the same time. We are very fortunate and we are very glad that the highest official of the Philippines is coming to us so he can actually see how the Filipinos in Hawaii especially are trying to pick up the image of the Filipinos in Hawaii, because the image of Filipinos in Hawaii is very good. They are hardworking people, they are not troublemakers, so I think that's what we want to show to the other races in the world. Especially Hawaii is the melting place of races. There's a lot of different races in Hawaii. So we got to prove ourselves as Filipinos to be an example of the world that we are not really bad people. Ang mga ating kababayan, I just want them to make sure that they will still carry our good traditions being Filipino. We are hardworking people, we are honest people, main things people can trust. Without those two, hardworking and honesty, it will be very hard to penetrate the global economy. Because I think we have the rights to work hard as Filipinos, but we got to make sure that our character and traits will be above all. Kasi mahirap, miski magaling ka, kung masama ugali mo, walang gugusto sa'yo.